The South Korean government has announced an action plan to tackle human rights issues in North Korea. It's part of a new law that was passed last year, and included in the plan is a reaffirmation that Seoul will continue to provide humanitarian assistance. But there's still no clear timeline for when that'll happen. Kwon Jang-ho has the details.
Seoul's Unification Ministry handed in its North Korean Human Rights Action Plan to the National Assembly on Friday. It's the first of its kind since last year's adoption of the North Korea Human Rights Act, which requires the government to formulate a plan every 3 years and come up with a yearly action plan. With the change in government and first calendar year of the law, there have been some bumps in the road, but a plan for the remaining of 2017 has been completed. First, the ministry has pledged to seek the cooperation of UN bodies to adopt resolutions condemning North Korea's human rights violations. There's also a blueprint to work with other nations to ensure the safety and human rights of North Korean defectors overseas. A broad variety of other actions are also included, such as record-keeping of the North's violations, resolving the issue of war-torn families, and increasing public awareness of North Korea's human rights abuses. On the other hand, several aspects that were originally proposed in April have been dropped, such as identifying specific human rights violators and the pledge to continue pursuing dialogue with Pyongyang. When asked whether this signaled a change in policy direction, a ministry official said the plan has been made based on what the government sees as feasible by the end of the year. One other aspect that has been included in the plan was the reaffirmation of the administration's will to provide humanitarian aid to North Korea. The Unification Ministry announced last week that it had approved $8 million worth of aid to be sent to North Korean children and women in need through UN agencies. But critics were swift to point out that the date and method of payment were subjected to depend on the current situation of the Korean Peninsula, despite the ministry's assurance that the aid was separate from any political issue. And as the new Human Rights Action Plan fails to clarify this point, it's still unclear when and how that aid will be provided. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.